Have you ever downloaded, scanned, exported, or copied a large group of files and ended up with names like Image 1, Image 10, Final Copy, Old Version, or files with double spaces and unwanted text? Renaming files one by one is slow. Using command line scripts can be risky if you are not comfortable with them. Batch Rename Tool is a free Windows utility that helps you rename many files at once using a simple visual interface. You can clean file names, replace text, add numbers, insert dates, change extensions, and preview every new name before applying changes. In this video, I'll show how to turn a messy folder of files into clean, organized file names in just a few steps. First, I add a group of files to the list. These names are a good example of what often happens after importing photos, scanning documents, downloading files, or exporting reports. The important thing here is that Batch Rename Tool shows the original file name and the new file name before anything is changed, so I can test different rules, preview the result, and only rename the files when everything looks correct. A very common task is replacing text inside many file names. For example, I can replace old with new across all selected files. This is useful for cleaning exported files, version names, backup names, or downloaded files that contain repeated unwanted words. After I click Preview, I can immediately see which file names will change. Batch Rename Tool can also clean formatting problems. Here, I can collapse double spaces into normal single spaces. I can also remove selected characters, such as dashes, underscores, or other characters I do not want in the final file names. This is helpful when file names come from different sources and use different naming styles. If every file name has extra characters at the beginning or the end, I do not need to edit them manually. I can remove a fixed number of characters from the start or from the end of every name. There is also a position-based remove option, which is useful when the unwanted part is always located in the same area of the file name. For more flexible cleanup, I can trim file names using text markers. For example, I can keep only the part before a specific word, or remove everything before a specific word. This is useful when file names contain separators, tags, dates, export codes, or other repeated text patterns. One of the most useful features is adding leading zeros to numbers. Windows sorting can become confusing when files are named 1, 2, 10, and 11. By setting the digits count to 3, this keeps pages, photos, scans, and exported files in the correct order. The pattern field gives more control over the final file name. I can combine normal text with dynamic values. For example, using _counter_name adds an automatic number before the original file name. I can also use date-based patterns, such as the file creation date followed by the original name. This is very useful for documents, reports, scans, backups, and any files that need a consistent naming format. For image files, Batch Rename Tool can use image dimensions in the file name. Here, I use a pattern that adds width and height after the original name. This can be helpful for designers, photographers, website owners, and anyone who works with image collections in different sizes. Batch Rename Tool can also change the file extension when needed. And before running the operation, I can choose how the files should be processed. I can rename files in the same folder, copy renamed files to another folder, or move renamed files to a destination folder. This gives me a safer workflow when I want to keep the original files unchanged. Once the preview looks correct, I click Rename and the batch operation is completed. If I make a mistake, the program also supports undo for the last rename operation, which makes it much safer than manually renaming a large group of files. Batch Rename tool is designed for anyone who needs to clean and organize file names on Windows without writing scripts. You can replace text, remove unwanted parts, add leading zeros, use counters and dates, include image dimensions, change extensions, and preview the results before applying changes. Batch Rename tool is freeware, and you can download it from the official TicoSoft website. Visit www.ticosoft.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope Batch Rename tool helps you organize your files faster.